Hello again, this is Daniel with End Time Country Living, and I want to give you guys an update on my little root cellars, my garbage can root cellars. How they're doing, were they effective, would I recommend them? That's coming up. So for those of you that have not seen my other video on making these, be sure to go back and look at that. These are about 30-gallon metal or galvanized metal garbage cans that I've painted black to protect them a little bit more from rust and the elements. So these are buried in the ground about 2 feet, and these are for storing my root crops and apples, anything else that I need cold storage for. And maybe in the future I can put a few more, maybe even do potatoes, things like that. This first one here has all my beets in here, and I haven't used too many this year so far. It's full of beets and I've only used, I don't know, maybe about 20 of them so far, and I'm probably going to have to start giving them away before they rot here, but they are actually keeping extremely well, the beets are. It's about 45 to sometimes up to 50 if it really gets to be a warm day or a warm week or something like that. The soil warms up, but the soil temperature is holding these quite well, and I'm very pleased with that. I put a lot of wood shavings here that are from my chainsaw, and also put some lime in here to keep down the mold, so that creates a very alkaline environment, so that's difficult for bacteria and mold to start growing on. So that seems to be working really well for the beets. It's not 100%. There's some that are rotting a little bit. This one here is probably so it's getting a little bit soft on some parts of it here, but not terrible. But most of them have kept really well. They look a little funny being so white like this, but you wash them up and they do very well. So I'm very pleased with that. I've had a lot of very tasty beets out of here so far. And here are my other 2 garbage cans that I put in the top here. These guys are little ABS pipes that I put into a boot jacks to give them some ventilation. Especially wanted that for my apples. So I got apples in this one and carrots in this one. So lift these up here. This one's, there's not a whole lot left in here. That's fairly good. The carrot variety that I chose, I think this is Scarlet Nantes and Bokum. Bokum is a Johnny's seeds hybrid variety, fairly good for market growing. It did fairly well growth wise, but apparently it isn't much of a keeper. So I am this year trying some other varieties that are made for storage over the winter, and I think that's the main reason why I'm getting so much rot, is they're just not and maybe even the quality of the carrot. The quality of the carrot or the produce, how many minerals and complex carbohydrates, things like that, determines the storage life of them as well. So it's probably a combination of the two. I'm still developing my beds to get them to the point where carrots really appreciate them. So anyway, not having terribly good success with my carrots this year and keeping them storage. A lot of them are rotting, getting real soft, parts of them, and they don't taste especially good. They don't have a very sweet flavor, kind of an off flavor. So not real happy about the storage for this year, but overall it's not too bad here. So got my humidity and temperature gauge in here. So we're looking at about 45. It's already increasing because I'm pulling it out of here and holding it here. So we got about 45 on the temperature and about 75 as a percent humidity. So anyway, gives you an idea of what the temperature is like. It's not as obviously as cold as I would like, but without excavating a big deep cavity and building a proper root cellar. This is working pretty good. See, I think these are going to end up being, let's say maybe about $50 a trash can, which seems a little extreme, but not too bad for $150 for 3 of these here. The main, the cost is about $20 for the trash can, probably another 8 or 9 for the paint. Uses about 2 cans, maybe 1 3/4, but somewhere around there. 2 cans of spray paint for it. The boot jacks are probably another maybe $15 or something like that for those. So it kind of adds up for all the different things you need here. So I did one without a boot jack, since I only bought 2 just to give them a try to see how it worked. And the beets are doing just fine without it. I think it's probably more important on the apples because they have the ethylene gas that they're putting off, so you want to make sure that has an escape route. And the carrots probably didn't really need it, so I may save that for more apples. Put apples in this one with the lid with the boot jack, the pipe, ventilation pipe on there, and then get another one maybe for carrots that doesn't have a ventilation pipe on there. Probably don't need it. So anyway, that's my experience with them. They seem to be holding at about 45. I think, I don't know what time of year it was here, maybe mid-December or something. It did kind of warm up for a week or so. It was up to 50, and I saw a little bit more rot because of that. But then it dropped back down and got cold again once the rains came. And so anyway, that's my experience here in the Willamette Valley area of Oregon. What it's like to try to use these things. You're going to get a totally different situation up in like Spokane, Washington, or California. So you got to kind of judge for your area. So for those that are wondering, how does it work in Oregon? Well, it's not bad. It actually works pretty good. It doesn't cost anything to, there's no electricity to, refrigerate these things. So I think it's a pretty good setup. So if you're curious about the apples, so I got Fuji's mainly in here and some Golden Delicious. So you can see here, most of these here are Fuji's in here. So I got pretty well filled up here. They're keeping fairly well. I'd say they're keeping their firmness, and I got a few rotten ones. You're just going to have to sort through them once a month. Like this one's starting to rot there, so this just be chucked into the nearby bushes here, and just going to clean them out every once in a while. Ones that are starting to decay, but that's just normal attrition that you get with any kind of storage. You're always going to get some that are starting to mold and decay here. So, but overall they're keeping fairly well there. So thanks for watching. That's all I had for you today. Just wanted to quickly show you the progress of these garbage can root cellars. So anyway, hope that gives you some tips and some ideas of what you can do to have a low-cost way to preserve your produce, which is important. And remember that Jesus said, "Behold, I am coming quickly. The time of trouble is just ahead." So start practicing and preparing now for more troublous times ahead. All right, God bless, and see you guys on the next video.